What are you doing? Go home! You do not want to get caught up with me. People love a monster.
Oscar season is over, and we're talking about our first post-Oscar season film of the year. The second film written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, The Bride, starring Jessie Buckley, who just became an Oscar winner for her role in Hamnet, as well as Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster, Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Saarsgard, Penelope Cruz, Annette Benning, and Zlatko Buric, a feminist reimagining of the 1935 James Whalen Bride of Frankenstein released by Universal, which itself has been remade as The Bride, no exclamation point, in 1985, and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in 1994.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Jessie Buckley plays both Mary Shelley and the Bride of Frankenstein. That gets called Ida and Penelope at different times in the film. Ida is an escort who hangs out at a club owned by the gangster named Lupino. As she sits in a booth being begged to try eating oysters, Mary Shelley's ghost, who has been trapped in the afterlife, flies into her, and the spirit makes her confront Lupino, who has been cutting the tongues out of girls who cross him. That night, Ida falls down a flight of stairs and dies. Meanwhile, Frankenstein's incel shows up at the house of Dr. Cornelia Euphronia, a female mad scientist who he begs to help him dig up a woman to turn into a wife. She resists at first, but soon they've dug up Ida's body, and they turn her into a wife for Frankenstein. So they brought back a dead escort who's possessed by the ghost of Mary Shelley, and the plot only gets more chaotic from there. After the bride rebels and is helped to escape by Frankenstein, a fun evening first watching a movie by Frank's favorite movie star, Ronnie Reed, and then dancing at a club turns violent as two men try to rape the bride, and Frank stomps on their brains with his feet.
I've been through this before. It is terrible. Go. Get out of here. Go home.
Realizing he's once again going to be treated like a monster, Frank and the bride run away and begin a journey to New York City on a train, which leads to another murder after the bride throws a cop off the train and he hits his head. Throughout the course of the movie, she kills like 6 different cops, and that was the best part. From there, it turns into basically like a Bonnie and Clyde situation where Frank and the bride go on the run, fleeing both from the law in the form of detectives played by Penelope Cruz and Peter Saarsgard, and from a hitman sent by Lupino to finish the job on Ida. It's one of the most chaotic films released in a while, with full-blown dance numbers, fake movies inside of the movie, and a protest movement sparked by the bride. Feminist reimagining that came to Maggie Gyllenhaal when she was watching the original Bride of Frankenstein, and realized that the movie was called Bride of Frankenstein, but we never learned anything about the bride. She's basically a non-entity, and Maggie wanted to change that. Arguably, she gives her an excess amount of personality. Jessie Buckley plays Ida basically like Margot Robbie plays Harley Quinn, and then Mary Shelley in such a different way inside of her. Maggie Gyllenhaal is also inspired by Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, which you can really tell.
Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, or cutaway coat, perfect fits.
It's a big swing, and we love a big swing here on Movie Night Extravaganza, so we wanted to cover this one. Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/movie night extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Our show gets simulcast, or if we're not on it at regular time, played later on This Space. This Space is a working class independent media collective. YouTube.com/ThisSpaceTV. Subscribing really helps out, or even more, sharing content from This Space and encouraging others to do the same. By working together, we can break through the algorithm. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Christina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Christina. Forrest and Kristina have a second show, The Absurdity Space, live on This Space on Wednesdays at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Dead Domain is a filmmaker, YouTuber, and cosplayer. YouTube.com/deaddomain. I am your host and Frankenstein's loneliest monster, Forrest Miller. Let's get reinvigorated.
Honestly, thought
yeah.
A Black Eyed Peas song. That.
Let's get reinvigorated in here. Let's get reinvigorated in here.
Yeah, we used to be a society.
What's going on? Dead Domain once again on another episode. One of the few guests that I've had people like from my life go, wow, you had a Dead Domain episode you guys did?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's always, I have a really weird, just kind of like spread as far as like permeation and who's seen my stuff. So I'm always fascinated where people mention me. So that's funny. That's good for me.
Apparently on Facebook, which I don't know.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm never on Facebook, so that's even better.
I always feel like there's some people that like I don't know, like I feel like there's barely any permeation between stuff that happens on my Facebook and stuff that happens on Twitter, and like so I'm always like surprised when either like somebody that I know shows up, like a screenshot from somebody I know. I'm like, oh shit, it's somebody that I know, or I
had the weirdest sensation because I had seen somebody who did not know me from like my other work, from my just like video and channel work, had retweeted something of mine, but it was one of those like Instagram posts that it was like a tweet I had done that had been cut out by somebody else and posted as an Instagram, and it was just like. That's weird. That's really weird. It's a strange feeling
sometimes, and I'm like, what? Huh?
I have Kristina. I've seen like when you've had a couple of those viral posts where people got really mad at like when people got mad at you for Erica Kirk. I didn't know that was. I didn't see that was your tweet. So I was like, wow, people are really mad at someone over this Erica Kirk thing. And then I looked at it, I was like,
and then they were like, we're gonna cancel Movie Night Extravaganza. It's like, really? You're gonna attack us, our 2-3 viewer podcast? Cool. Good luck with that. We make no money from
I was like I was just like scrolling on the show Twitter, and someone just goes, I'll see you in court. And I was like, the fuck did I do?
Every time I do something, Forrest or Conan get blamed for it. I'm like, what? I did it though. So the Bride.
The Bride.
I'm a huge Maggie Gyllenhaal fan. I loved her in Secretary, aka the superior 50 Shades of Grey, because we all know, Mr. Grey is actually in the movie. And Sherry Baby and other stuff, with Donnie, with her brother as well, and the Christopher Nolan, Batman movies, and this is her second, time directing. And I think her first film got a lot of praise. So a lot of people.
What was the first one? I was trying to remember it.
The Lost Daughter. I have not seen it.
Oh,
but
okay,
it has pretty much the same cast. It has Jessie Buckley in it. It has Peter Saarsgard, the guy that plays the detective, who's her husband.
Yeah.
Who's Maggie Gyllenhaal's husband, not Jessie Buckley's husband. Jessie Buckley's husband is just some guy. But but yeah, it has like a bunch of the same people in it. Annette Benning, she likes casting.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
nice.
I can't
And she likes
believe it.
casting
No
her-
other director does that either. So she should definitely get criticized for that. Casting a lot of the same people over and over again. Who do you think she is?
No, it's interesting because because I haven't seen it, but it looks like such a different movie, right? Like this one is based on a book, and I mean, The Lost Daughter is based on a book, and it's like more of like an actual like psychological drama film. And it's funny to like have two like totally separate kinds of films, but you like cast a lot of the same people. I think she cast her brother as well. I want to say,
Yeah.
Which
She told him to go suck a fuck.
Kristina, have you seen it? Have you seen The Lost Daughter?
Yeah. Oh,
Was
yeah.
it good?
Oh yeah, and like the fact that a lot of people were like, "What happened when it came to this film?" Because everyone's like, "The first one's so great and universally acclaimed, and people liked it," But so a lot of people were like, "What happened to this one?" I'm like, "Y'all just, don't like creativity."
I did not know. Yeah,
I dug the hell out of this movie, honestly.
Yeah.
It's grown on me over time because I saw it, I think like the week after or so it came out.
Which it came out on the 6th, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and and I don't know, my partner and I probably saw it around the 10th or so. And it was mostly because it was such a immediately divisive film that like if it had gotten terrible reviews, if all the reviews were universally down in the 10s, 11s or something, I would have been like, you know what, I'll catch it at some point in the background on Tubi or something. If it was at the 90 percentile, I also actually probably wouldn't have gone to see it myself because like, I'm sure, again, it was like, this seems like, I'm sure it's good and great, but I'll get to it at some point. But that contention, the division between, and it wasn't just people being overly emphatic about their thoughts on it, like, oh my gosh, it was so great. It was like the division between it. Yeah, it was so many people of very specific groups,
men,
mostly men, who were just like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh, okay, no, I gotta check this out in some way because, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, because when I saw this, I'm like, this is considered like the worst movie a man has ever seen. I'm like, I've seen worse movies done by women that I feel insulted as a woman to have seen. This is not one of those movies.
No, it's the same, like,
Amelia
cultural
Perez
hyperbole you get.
Amelia Perez, for God's sakes, come on now.
Yeah.
Like,
I went into this. Well, first I decided like, yo, we should do this as an idea before I saw it. And then I started to see all the reviews, and I was like, okay, there's no way that this is going to be the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, I do not believe that. Like, so many bad fucking movies that come out. Like, Tubi is an entire app that has like shitty movies. Like, there's Netflix also like has like so many shitty movies. Like, this is at least in theaters. Is at least Warner Brothers behind it, and they spent a lot of money on it. It's like there's no way it's gonna be like the worst thing I've ever seen. And then I went in with like no expectations, being like, oh, like this might be, I don't know. But and then I found myself like laughing at a lot of it, being like, what the fuck? This is not a bad movie whatsoever.
No, it's a very self-assured one. I think a lot of people, like, if you're not down with the movie and it's not your style, that's totally fine. But I think it's a movie made with a very precise creative vision, and I think people not gelling with that vision, they often mistake for it being incoherent. And I saw this, so this was this weird reverse expectation I was put into the movie with, is once it came out, it got a lot of, on social media, got a lot of comparisons to Joker 2, and people were saying it was a musical. And so that again completely muddled my expectations of what this thing was, which it's not a musical. There is a musical number in it, but it's not like a show tune musical.
Yeah, it didn't come with its own like album like Lady Gaga did with the Harlequin album.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just this, like, I forgot where I was going with that. Never mind. Sorry, continue.
No, I don't think I would have been able to take it if it was a musical, to be honest. But it does have that big dance number, which she said
Oklahoma,
But Maggie Gyllenhaal said pretty much like she was very inspired by like One Battle After Another and like Sinners, like all these movies this year that came out that defy genre. And she's like, what I really wanted to do with this was defy genre. Like I feel like genres, we're living in like the age of post genre, and like all the best movies are like, you know, they throw everything together, and you really can't like kind of parse it out in that way. And I'm like, yeah, like that's actually true. Like I don't like, we're kind of in a time where like you're no longer stuck making genre pictures.
Yeah, and people want to put they want to put a lot of movies in like these boxes of a specific genre. It's like, well, you can't really do that.
I was talking to my partner about this like a week or so ago, because I watched on a whim. Speaking of Tubi, I've been checking out a lot of stuff on Tubi, and they have a lot of like good movies on there that are just, you know, they're B-sides. You know, they were number 1 or number 2 in the box office at some point between 85 and 97, and they were a star vehicle. They made their money. They went away, but they got good reviews. And so there was one Brian De Palma film called Body Double that I was watching, and I was just sitting there being like, Brian De Palma, good cast, well shot. And it used to be that you had these very defined genre flicks. You used to have these kind of like the thriller space doesn't really exist as a viable box office thing anymore. Because if you're going to make a thriller, you either want it to be A24 horror, or you want it to be like a big multi-blockbuster franchise, either a spy movie or superhero or something. And so people have taken those things. And the same thing people have noted with comedy, like the Scary Movie resurgence, and like Naked Gun came out and people are like, why don't we have more of this? It's because, well, people get their yuckums from Marvel movies and every other blockbuster now, because it has all been condensed.
Yeah, and also to a lot of people feel like, oh, we can't, you know, we you know, we you know, the woke and, you know, snowflakes and blah blah blah. I'm like, but the Naked Gun movie was actually funny. And
no, it was I don't buy that. I think that is,
it's such a cop out. People will be like, oh, I'm like, no, it's just you can. People just feel like that they have to be offensive in order to be funny, and I'm like, no, you don't.
You don't at all, and you can be completely ridiculous and like, yeah, that God, Naked Gun. I would do so many things for like 10 more of those movies with Liam in it, because that was fucking phenomenal. Sorry, can I swear?
And I was.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay. There's no control here, but no, I was surprised to like that this is the guy that basically said this, but there was a Vince Vaughn clip a while back where he was talking about how they don't make mid-budget comedies anymore. Pretty much everything either has to be, they throw everything at it like a Marvel movie, or they throw nothing at it, and you're working with a shoestring budget, and it has to do with the ability to take risks, pretty much. Like, you know, studios don't want to take risks on original things anymore. Essentially, everything has to either be pitched as like IP, or like as something like more like sequel, something that already exists. Like I feel like one of the last big ones that isn't the Naked Gun was like Bridesmaids. But still, you can look at Bridesmaids, and at that point, Judd Apatow and all those like his collaborators have pretty much made enough movies that it's like, oh, this is going to be like a Judd Apatow movie. You know what I mean? Like, so there already was some kind of established brand to it. And I feel like because there isn't an established brand, people will take a lot of money and make something of this IP, or they'll give you no money and you have to make like a shoestring indie movie. But those mid-budget thing, like they don't make those anymore. Like at least for comedies.
Yeah,
well, because romantic comedies is a big one, but comedy is kind of fascinating, because the way you phrase that made me just like think of it in terms of like, the way it used to be was a comedy actor. You had your Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, all the way up through 2000s. You had Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, like all of these people. And what effectively studios would use these comedy stars for was like their own little mini franchises, where you weren't going to see the next Will Ferrell movie because of the concept. You were going to see it because it's a Will Ferrell movie. And I think Melissa McCarthy is a really interesting example, because she was one of like, out of the post Hangover boom of raunchy comedies, I think Zach Galifianakis and Melissa McCarthy were kind of two of the last stars to really rise. And she was on a very popular sitcom for years and years, and tons of other stuff. So like she has a lot of stuff to her name, but that Bridesmaids was what launched her through like multiple collaborations with Paul Feig, I think. And you're absolutely right in that we don't really have like who is the funny person right now? Who is a bankable comedy star too? Like
they tried to do it around the same time with Amy Schumer, and it did not fit.
Yeah. I was so
But
one
she-
of the
She made too many
all right,
jokes
sorry.
about her vagina. That's the problem.
Amy Schumer is fascinating to me because so they've been doing these things now with movie theaters to get people to come back. They are kind of just grabbing at any anniversaries they can. I don't know if y'all have noticed this, where they will just be like, there was something that was just put in theaters. It was like something completely random. It was their 10th anniversary, and I was like, do people really? I don't know. It was Argo or something. But they did that for that one Amy Schumer movie. I think it was Trainwreck.
Trainwreck? Yeah,
Yeah, it was like
the only
10th
good
anniversary.
one
I'm
she
like,
did. Yeah.
like it's fucking Sleepless in Seattle. It was bizarre.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy because it's like 40, 50th anniversary. I understand, but like I mean, Moana, the animated Moana, 10 years old, right? And they're getting it's getting a live action remake, and it's like you couldn't make Hawaii look colorful. Okay, whatever.
I also feel like I guess somebody that it was before that I guess, but like I feel like Ryan Reynolds making the jump to like blockbusters really changed things too.
Yeah,
because it was like once he started being in these like huge blockbusters. I mean, what was it like the Green Hornet or whatever, or was that might be the
Green
Lantern?
Lantern,
Yeah. I always get the two of them mixed up.
And then
they had the Green Lantern one, and it didn't go very well. But then he brought Deadpool back, and that exploded. And I feel like now there's kind of if you're somebody who wants to be in that bankable category, you go right to Marvel. Like you don't you don't do this thing where it's like you're in your own kind of almost Bantustan style franchises.
Look at Robert Downey Jr. He won the Oscar for Oppenheimer. Now he's Dr. Doom. How? Why? I don't know. But like it's a lot of fans they want certain things and then they bitch about getting the things, and it's like you wanted this though. You wanted Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know. Yeah, far be it for me to be like a Marvel fan at this point, but man, I can't imagine the kind of person who is like, yes, as Dr. Doom, like that. That's a movie I am waiting to see, honestly, with bated breath, because I'm like, this thing is going to be such a mess. I can't not look at it.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck Doomsday is.
We should. I was gonna say, speaking of a movie that's kind of a
sorry.
The Bride. No, so I went in with like no expectations for this.
Yeah,
and
same.
I ended up liking it a lot. But it is kind of it's a chaotic mess. I think the reason that it is right, like the story behind it, is that they started filming it in 2023 or 2024, and then it went into test screenings, and audiences were like, they didn't like how much violence was in it. It was going to be way more violent originally.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Have we ever had a good test audience story? I feel like we need to stop with test audiences.
There was also going to be like a lot more sex and violence. Like those are the two things. There was like an entire scene.
The test audience. Let me tell you.
No, there's an entire scene where Christian Bale, not Kristen Bale. There's an entire scene where Christian Bale was going to lick the black sludge off of her neck and off of her face and and it was going to get way more in depth on that.
Oh, God, I swear to God, test audiences, they don't know a goddamn thing, and then it's getting to the point where when you hear a story about test audience, they want to include something that was very vital to the story, like Superman saving the squirrel in the new Superman movie. They wanted to cut that out because test audience were like, I don't know why he would do that. And it's like,
oh my God, like again, I hate being. Because I really tried to not, be a total like Marvel costume movie hero chungus in my media analysis. I try not to center it around like the most obvious symbols of pop culture. And so I don't pay too much attention. But when people level those kinds of criticisms, it does genuinely bother me because it is so... I can't believe you're making me defend a fucking Superman movie, dog. Like I can't believe this is where I'm it was
Yeah, because with I feel like this movie, and we've covered movies that recently people are like, you know what, maybe they were onto something. Like, Don't Worry, Darling. Like, a lot of people back in 2022 had no idea what the fuck the manosphere was, and incels. Like, the people who were critiquing Don't Worry, Darling did not know that thing was a thing. But Olivia Wilde's very political and into what what was going on. And now look what happened with that Netflix documentary, and people are like, okay. So more people are now like, you know what? That Don't Worry, Darling, we could live that type of society. Unfortunately, we gotta watch out for these men.
Yeah. Well, also at the time, right? Like, it was just started when people understood like simulation theory.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like simulation theory has gotten so whatever. They're like, oh, we're all in the simulation. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's gotten annoying at this point, but that was like an idea that was going around a lot if you were paying attention to like, Twitter and the manosphere, right? Like the whole thing about like red pilling, like that's what it is basically.
Yeah.
So speaking from the afterlife, Mary Shelley says she has a story she wanted to tell after Frankenstein, but could not due to her death. To tell it, she possesses Ida, a woman living in 1936 Chicago, who in her trance proceeds to discuss the criminal activities of crime boss Lupino, Benjamin Netanyahu from Superman. Lupino's henchman Clyde and James discreetly take her aside where Shelley's ranting causes her to fall down a flight of stairs to her death.
Relatable.
Any thoughts starting from there?
What a way to start a movie.
Yeah, it gets you right into the action. It very much like you get the tone they're going for right away. And when this movie is called, I think the thing that really bugged people about this movie was how much it kind of embodied not the fact that it was like this feminist girl boss fantasy or anything, but how much it plays on the perspective of somebody being subjugated by these men. Because what it actually reminded me of, that opening scene reminded me of one of my favorite fucking scenes in The Substance, which is just that absolutely disgusting scene with Dennis Quaid in the diner just eating. And it's because that's the only thing, and it's there is more depth to the scene because it's showing like what a predator he is, how he is like literally feeding on and not caring about her career. Like, there's more to it than that. And I think that's very similar to this, where it is focusing on, and not even in a necessarily gratuitous, like Sam Raimi, super goopy kind of way, but it is framing these people surrounding her as these, like almost hyena-like creatures preying on her.
Yeah. By the way, did not catch this when I was watching it, but the setting felt very familiar. And like, I've been to Chicago to O'Hare and stuff, but I've never been like, and I realized when I was looking at stuff on Facebook or whatever, so they shot it in Kingston, next to where my brother has his apartment, in Kingston, New York, upstate. And they took Kingston, which is like the city. It's like two towns away from me or whatever. And they use that as the city of Chicago when they're running through the streets. Yeah. Actually, a lot of it was filmed where I live. Elsewhere in Chicago, I had no idea that was the case until I was like reading online about it. Elsewhere in Chicago, Frankenstein's monster, aka Frank, arrives at the house. Frankenfurter arrives at the house of scientist Dr. Cornelia Euphronius. Having read about Euphronius's work on reanimation, I prefer her original work on animation, but that's just me. He enlists her to create a companion for him after a century of loneliness. Relatable. Euphronius and Frank choose Ida's corpse to successfully revive her, but she loses her memory in the process. Frank takes advantage of this and states that she's his bride and lost her memory in an accident.
Yeah, at the end, it's like, oh, she don't remember anything. You know what? That's a good thing, because you don't want to know the type of man I am.
What do you guys think about Christian? I don't know why I can't say Christian today. I guess maybe God's stopping me. What do you guys think of Christian Bale's performance in this?
He likes doing freakier stuff now. Like, we've seen him do like he's won Oscars or whatever. Like, he's just doing fun shit regardless. Like, he did the Thor movie that everyone hates, and he's doing this. Like, he's kind of like he's in like his I don't know what the phase of his career is, but it's like he's doing. Some actors they just do whatever now. They're doing like whatever. They got fun. Who cares?
Well, yeah, I mean, what is he like? He's already been Batman. Like, I feel like At this point, it's like what?
He's
Like
worked
you
with our
either
friend
keep,
Adam McKay, for God's sakes. Like,
yeah.
come on now.
But it's like I feel
Cheney.
like you either keep doing stuff like that, and then you turn into like I guess Robert Downey Jr., where you're like, oh, I'm the face of a franchise or whatever, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you either do that or you like or you kind of diversify and just go, you know what, I'm gonna get freaky with it.
And
Well,
not,
and I think
not destroy my body in the process either, because that's what he's
yeah,
doing at first.
that's what I was more thinking, because like he doesn't have anything to prove. I would put him like in the category of like a Daniel Day-Lewis in terms of that they're both very method, they're both very prestigious. And again, he has for Dick Cheney, he put on a bunch of weight. For The Machinist, he lost a shit ton of weight. Like he has done so much over. Like he's been ripped, he's been big, he's done it all.
He could play
to
Gavin
play those
Newsom
roles.
Now?
Yeah, he can play Gavin Newsom.
We know now.
Like he really can just like he doesn't have anything to prove. So I think it's awesome him doing it. It almost reminds me of Stevie Dammit over on YouTube. Nicolas Cage perfected the I'm doing whatever years ago. Well, I think so. Nicolas Cage was more of a needing to but I think Nicolas Cage now is more in that area of like what if you don't have anything, if you were in it for the love of the art, which I do believe there are actors, Nicolas Cage, Christian Bale are among them, who I think that they are, almost in that Tom Cruise way, just like they just love film. They love making movies. They want to make new things and be a part of those things. And that really feels like Christian Bale here. I do not think like there's not a moment of this movie that he phoned in, which is like, I think to his credit and to the movie's credit.
I like that he does his accent. He's not too worried about having the same accent the whole movie, because there's parts of the movie where he gets a little Hungarian with it when he's watching Ronnie Reed, and he has his little like gay crush on Ronnie Reed a little bit, because that's like his friend, right? Like that's his friend. The only person he's really felt like he's a friend is the projection on the screen. And then I don't know if I couldn't tell. I guess I wonder what you guys.
Was he trying to do a Boris Karloff impression?
A little. I mean, I think a little bit, but I couldn't tell. But the part where he's in the background during the Ronnie Reed movie, I couldn't tell if that's supposed to be him mentally projecting himself into the movie when he's behind him during that one scene, or if that's or if like literally you're supposed to build it, because later he's like, I was there, you smiled at me. I couldn't really tell if that was because later he projects himself onto the screen and you see him on the screen.
So there's one thing I wonder if, because knowing all of the like, this is a work that is very still lovingly plays on and has a lot of respect for Mary Shelley's original work. And I kind of wonder, because the original title of Frankenstein was Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus or something like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if it is playing on his obsession with that projector, like you were talking about, is playing on like similar Greco-Roman philosophy in like Plato's allegory of the cave, because he is so consumed with that image on the cave as his like escape from everything else. And I that could be total bullshit, but I was just wondering.
I also just feel like, I mean, I don't know, like anybody that's kind of been really into movies and like was a lonely kid, or like, was kind of an isolated or like alienated feeling kid, like the movies kind of become your getaway, right? Like it's like you watch enough of a movie and it's almost like you have this friendship. And if you ever watched the original Bride of Frankenstein, which I did the other night, I actually hadn't seen it before this, and I watched it because it was I hadn't seen. I've seen Frankenstein, but I didn't see Bride of Frankenstein.
What's funny too, because a lot of people think that the actress, what Ella Lanscast, or like that was like her only film. I'm like, no, she had a long.
No, she
career.
was Charles Laughton's. She's in a million films, but she also was Charles. She was Charles Laughton's hag. Can't say the other word, but but they were married, and he was gay, but she was on set for a lot of the time when he was doing Night of the Hunter, one of the greatest.
Oh yeah,
a little bit, but yeah. I thought you meant like he was a hunchback just in general. I was going to say
the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Come on now, he was in that one.
he was. But he also directed and wrote Night of the Hunter, which is like one of the greatest movies ever made. And after that, he didn't make another movie again. Yeah. So Frank and I see a movie featuring Frank's favorite actor, Ronnie Reed, and then they go dancing at a club. As they leave, two men attempt to assault her, and Frank kills them. Frank tells her to leave him, but she decides to run away with him. That's such a beautiful scene, though, because it's like
Kill for your woman. That's the men. You yearn, you would kill for her. That is how.
I've been
That's
keeping
how you get the pussy. Okay, that's how you do it. They ain't of my existence, of my desires, and
I was waiting for Frank's character to turn throughout the film. I had just this like kind of, and I'm honestly glad they didn't, because I'm so used to like a less sincere kind of film where a character has to have, ulterior motives, or there has to be a dark twist. And I'm so glad that they didn't make him explicitly any kind of like archetype of abuser. There are things he does that are unhealthy for a relationship, but he's generally well-meaning and genuinely, like, one of my favorite moments comes towards the end where like she says, no, I don't want to be called the Bride of Frankenstein, and he lights up like a fucking Christmas tree. It's like, yes, this is fucking awesome, you're so cool, oh, you're insane.
I love his yes.
Like he is the ultimate fucking wife guy, and it is really, I don't know, it's nice to have that kind of character, just a genuine representation of masculinity in a lot of ways. That is like, he's pretty fucking ugly. They made Christian Bale pretty ugly for the movie.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know, it feels like the inverse of that kind of, why are all the Guillermo del Toro monster movie guys that girls fall in love with, why are they all hot? And it's like, no, it is like, this is,
they're played by hot men, that's why.
yeah, exactly. And it's, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a solid representation and an extension of that character as well.
Because you look at the I like that it was kind of a subversion too, because like one of my favorite lines happens in this part where he goes, he's turning into a monster, and the way that people perceive him as a monster, which the original Frankenstein too, right? Like it's not a monster, but people perceive him as a monster because of the way he looks. But I love the line where he goes, he's like, I'm not meant to murder, I play violin. I was like, that's such a great,
he plays the violin,
because he is, it does seem like he's gonna turn. He's like his voice is going like, but it's like, instead of doing the thing where he's like kind of I guess mentally challenged, but he ends up being pretty smart in the original like Bride of Frankenstein, but like doing the kind of childlike thing, right? Like they turn him more into a guy with like severe anxiety, and I like that about it. It's like he's having panic attacks the entire time, although he seems to have a panic attack whenever she tries to ask him, oh, who was I before the accident? And then he tries that's when he's having his panic attack.
I don't know. I just assumed that you were in an accident, hon.
Like every like a lot of men in this, not all men, but a lot of the men in this are like, a lot of the men in this are like aggressive predator, like almost to like it's obviously overplayed, but like the two guys run up to her and they're just like raping her, and like another part like she's dancing and they're raping her. Like there's so much like they're predators in a way that like a zombie almost is, or something like that, or like a vampire or something like that. And Frank isn't that, but he still kind of is an asshole, not because he's like a bad person, but
asshole with a heart of gold.
But he's kind of like lying to her, and he's kind of taking advantage of the situation to like, but then at the same time, like, she tries to give him head and he like pushes her, like it's not sex, it's like truly companionship that he's really after. And then of course they start fucking all over the place, but it's like you can tell in that moment that it's like, this is obviously a different kind
herself. He proved himself to her,
Yeah. But so they stow away on a train to New York City, killing a security officer, I think it was a police officer, who discovers them after Shelley causes her to have an outburst. Meanwhile, Detective Jake Wiles and his assistant Myra Malloy investigate the murders and eventually follow them to New York. I love the recurring every cop that you see gets just immediately off. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Hey, Cap, let's go.
I liked Penelope Cruz. I liked Saarsgard. They added such a, I think they really added a nice flavor to the movie, because you see this like 1920s, 1930s Chicago aesthetic, flapper girls and underground bars and stuff, but having that almost film noir-y on the trail of the outlaws perspective, I think it helped to helped to cheese it up a little bit, helped to give some distance and reflection for, like, I think if it was just about Frankenstein and the Bride, it could have been much more dark, more dreary, just focusing on them. And I think having that separation allowed for a little bit more levity.
Yeah. Imagine if her husband Javier Bardem was in the movie.
I really liked just their dynamic too, where it's like she's the brilliant one. He's both stupid and corrupt. And also he's like I love the whole back and forth where they're like I basically flirt with the cops, not in like a like a solicitous way, I guess. And the cops are like, oh, this guy's such a great detective, and then she's actually the one that solves the crimes.
Yeah, Peter Saarsgard is kind of known for playing like very dumb dudes. Like, I mean, I remember him in Orphan. He playing the dad that's like, oh, she's sweet, innocent, blah 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 blah, and then he gets killed because he falls for her charms, and it's too late.
Mm-hmm. While the pair are in hiding, Frank tells her name is Penelope Rogers. It was very funny to hear that after Penelope Cruz is there.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, Penelope, not that one. Like, Penelope causes chaos at a screening of Revolt of the Zombies, and they seek refuge from the police and an angry mob at a high-class party. Frank runs into Ronnie Reed and expresses his adoration, but is dismissed. Yeah, Ronnie Reed's a fucking asshole. Fuck Ronnie Reed.
I mean, it is Jake Gyllenhaal, so he's known for playing those types of guys.
Yeah. But Frank begins to dance like Reed does in his films, to putting on the Ritz. I was like, oh, they really did watch Young Frankenstein a bunch of times before this. Penelope joining him. Yeah.
That's one of the things I actually really enjoyed about it was people were kind of, comparing it to obviously Del Toro's Frankenstein and then Poor Things as well. And I'm glad there's not actually that much connective tissue between any of those really, outside of like somebody being brought back. Brought back from the dead. Like they're all very separate films, but it was so apparent that they studied kind of all of the different stories of Frankenstein, all of the different cultural memories and representations and interpretations, and did a lot from not just the literary perspective, not just the classic Hollywood movies, which can be very different from the book, but then also things like Young Frankenstein. I think it's such a really loving, fun tribute that also is kind of like, hey, we're having fun with it a little bit, wink to the audience. And that's the kind of thing, again, I really appreciated.
I think it's been compared a lot to like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah. The Robert De Niro one. Yeah.
Yeah. That masterpiece.
You talking to me?
Have you seen that one?
To me.
I think I did a really long time ago. I remember seeing. I just don't, because I remember seeing Helena Bonham Carter.
What are you doing, dude? You're better than this. I was like, talking about. I'm like, this was Robert De Niro like at the peak of his career, like doing like Scorsese films, right? And then he does this, and it's like, oh.
Well, because they were trying to do is they were capitalizing on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yep.
Because it was like we got artsy director, we got a big star, we got a property, and then The Mummy came out and was also kind of trying to do the same thing, but did it in a much better way.
We've talked endlessly about Bram Stoker's Dracula on this.
We did a whole episode about it.
We did like a 3-hour episode.
Hell of a movie. Oh
yeah. But hang on. Frank begins to dance like Reed does in his films. Penelope joining him, as do partygoers possessed by Mary Shelley. The whole thing with I kind of added that element of chaos to it, where it's like every time she goes to speak, like Mary Shelley's voice is coming out of her mouth, but it's like a completely different. Like it's the English accent, and she's doing the Harley Quinn voice, and it's like
I
think the Mary Shelley look. I have to just admire the sheer gall of it because it's an abrasive choice. But I really do think the Mary Shelley parts were the worst part of the movie for me.
Yeah,
not necessarily because of like the sentiment or what was being said,
the flow.
But they picked two pretty annoying voices to alternate between.
They couldn't get Margot Robbie if they want to do a good Harley Quinn, because sometimes when people forget,
She was doing Harley Quinn, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I'm assuming she didn't have Margot Robbie's dialect coach, because the whole thing is pretend you got acrylics on, you got to do the whole thing, and then all of a sudden you're talking to her, then you're talking to him. It didn't sound like that to me. I'm like, nope, dialect coach needs to act like you're at the nail salon.
Well, it's got to be hard though. Then you go blah, 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 blah. Like she does like that fast rapping thing where she's like, it's basically rapping. Like she does the different words that sound similar or whatever. But she's like,
no, she does like full on spoken word slam poetry.
Yeah,
basically.
She's a poet. Too. She didn't know it.
Yeah,
you're a poet and you didn't know it. The Detective Wiles and the police arrive at the party, but fall back when Penelope holds Reed at gunpoint and calls out men in attendance for abusing women. Epstein Files ass. They're gonna have her read they're gonna have Mary Shelley read the Epstein Files.
Oh, great! Played by
Wiles recognizes her real identity as Ida. Penelope kills a police officer, and she and Frank escape the city in a stolen car. Another, I think this like a lot of that sequence was here too, like because when they pull up on that road, I was like, I recognize that road from like
It's kind of like when I watched Who's Your Caddy, and I was like, yeah, they filmed this right on the golf course right around the corner from where I live with Jeffrey Jones, the pedophile.
The craziest one for me was Materialist, where I was like, I've seen that barn. And then it was the barn next to my middle school, and I was like,
that's
holy fuck,
crazy.
I have seen that barn.
You've been there.
I pass it every day on the bus. Penelope and Frank's crime spree becomes well publicized, and Lupino recognizes her in a newspaper. He executes James for failing to silence her and dispatches Clyde to kill her again. There's a lot of
Bonnie and Clyde
silence
references.
There's a lot of silence complicity kind of stuff here that I like that they do throughout this. Boy makes a connection between reports of the murders and sightings of the parent cities where Reed's films were set. Yeah, they're just going to the movies. Like this, they could have the same. They're fucking. They stay at a hotel. They fuck. They go to the movies.
That's the dream right there.
It's like I love a good
kind of life.
Yeah, just hanging out, going on misadventures like that. The road movie part of this movie was one of the more fun things for me, because it really is just seeing two people who's like, it's so rare to see a crazy person meets a crazy person movie done well, because usually you get Manic Pixie Dream Girl, or you get shit with like Joker and Harley Quinn, where it's like, oh, this is just abuse and coercion. Yeah. But having just two bonkers people meet each other and match each other's freak is like, it's fun. It's fun. It's nice to see.
It reminds me of like in the first Deadpool movie when he meets Vanessa. He's like, crazy, my crazy.
Yeah,
like, you gotta find someone that's like that, you know. So there's nothing wrong with people that are there. It depends. Like for some couples, it's like you need to find someone who can get you out of your shell. But if you have like a strong personality, it's better to actually find someone who's probably has just of a strong personality as well. And that's why these two work well.
But they could have. I mean, either of them could have done like a lot less and like gotten away with it as a movie. I'm glad that they did what they did. But like even like Christian Bale, Christian Bale's he didn't have he could have just kind of hung out if he really wanted to. Like he didn't have to go as hard as he did for this. But I'm glad he did. He's
fully committed to these roles where he's like, I'm just doing it now. I'm just gonna do it. You want me to whatever, I'll do it.
Well, and I almost wonder if there's a element of, because going back to Nicolas Cage, I wonder if there's a element of, hey, this is an opportunity to play this this legendary role, even if it is this really weird different interpretation, because Nicolas Cage talked about loving doing Dracula in Renfield a couple years ago, which was like another time you could tell he is having fucking fun doing it. He's in it. And I think I think there's this like, hey, do you want to play classic movie monster and kind of make it your own or do a fun spin on it? They're going to be like, yeah, of course. Like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Because you could tell in Bride of Frankenstein, like Karloff is having a blast.
Yeah.
Like you could tell they just like that. Obviously there's that classic scene where it's with the blind man which I forgot is from Bride of Frankenstein. It isn't from the original Frankenstein, but he and the blind man are like sharing cigars, and he's like, smoke, and he's like, smoke, and he's like, smoke.
You know what's so fun? You know what's crazy? Some of the most well-known movies, everyone's like, "Oh, this is from the Frankenstein." No, they're from the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, there's a bunch of scenes from that it's like, oh shit, like these are like classic scenes. I mean, a lot of it's parodied obviously really well in Young Frankenstein, but Young Frankenstein takes from both of them.
Yep.
But yeah, I love that Gene Hackman plays the blind man in Young Frankenstein. That same character. Where he's like, "Where are you going? I was gonna make espresso." Yeah, this prompts Malloy and Wiles to travel to Niagara Falls, where they find the couple. I was thinking about this with Eileen because she lives towards there. Wiles confronts them and informs Penelope of her previous identity as Ida before she shoots him in the foot. Fleeing, an angered Penelope takes the injured Frank to a drive-in where he tells her the truth of her origins. And I could pass it off to you, Kristina, to do the last.
Yep. So Wiles explains to Malloy that he and Ida were planning to take down Lupino and express his guilt that his inaction led to her death. Ooh. The truth is out. So he decides to retire and promotes Malloy as his replacement. Malloy tracks the couple to the drive-in. Again, going to the movies and drive-ins. Do you guys have do you guys have drive-ins near you? Because I have one. It's out like in Moneta, which is like almost like the middle of nowhere. And they really popped up during COVID, obviously.
Yeah. Well, so we have one in Hyde Park, which is like where FDR his estate is, but that used to be like the really like big town where all the like rich people live, like the Vanderbilts and like all of those people, but it's kind of been abandoned and turned kind of real shitty. So so that's where the drive-through is, the drive-in. The drive-through. I go to McDonald's. No, that's where the drive-in is, but they closed it pretty recently, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna come back in whatever amount of time," but like I don't know if they are.
Yeah, I don't. We don't have, the closest we'll have is something in a park nearby, but it's not like you can drive up to it. It is, it's like a family movie night type thing, and
like a projection.
They're pretty well attended, but it's not the same.
It's expensive to run one of those if you're not.
I bet. Oh, holy shit, I bet.
Because I remember like near my house they have summer movies, like they have like this giant screen they put up in town and everybody goes to the movies, and it turns out it's like $300 to $600 every time you want to rent because you have to get the rights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why a lot of them do the double features too, because drive-in movies, they're not as popular, and you want to do like a double feature so that people can actually be there for a while and get some money's worth. Because I remember I think it was The Ugly Truth and then Orphan. One of my double features.
You sell popcorn and stuff, and then you can make your money back. But like it's a struggle. Like if it's not well attended, then you're just out like $500 that you've given to Warner Brothers, and you feel like shit about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be Paramount. But yeah, that's the thing too. Like a lot of people complain about like, oh, so much stuff is so expensive now at the movie theaters. I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, movie theaters make their money by selling the expensive concession. But half the time, they don't even check your purse, so you should be fine.
Yeah, no, they never. I always bring a backpack into the movies, and I'm waiting for the day that somebody gets too zealous about it, and they're like, "Let's see what's in the backpack."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "My gun. That's what's in the back." See,
you like a water? Look, it's a water gun. So,
let me take my candy into the movies, or I'll shoot myself.
With squirt. So Frank apologizes for his actions and affirms his love for Penelope / Ida, who decides to call herself the bride. Oh, honestly,
but Frank's like, my bride. She's like, not your bride. I'm my own bride, bitch.
And he was just like, cool, awesome. I'll take it either way. Which I thought was such a sweet scene of him just being such an idiot about her, and also this moment of like. Because it's this moment of self-realization for her, where she is constantly struggling between what she was, what she wants to be, and and she is
an annoying fucking bitch in her brain.
Exactly, and so like she's torn in all these directions and finds one she wants to go in, and he is like without a moment of hesitation, he's like, "Yes, love this for you. I'm here to like total wife guy mode." I love it.
Yeah, which is such a the opposite of the Bride of Frankenstein, which he like she hisses at him twice, and he's like, "Oh, fuck this! I'm blowing all of us up."
Frankenstein, the original incel. So as he proposes, Clyde fatally shoots him, but the bride escapes with Frank's body, returning to Euphronius' laboratory, followed by Malloy. Euphronius refuses to reanimate Frank, citing that her attempts to reanimate her husband went wrong, leading her to have to kill him. Clyde breaks into the laboratory and really shoots the bride before fleeing.
There was something in her performance that reminded me of Eileen for some reason. Like after we talked to her, I was like, she had like a similar voice to her.
Yeah. So the police arrive before Malloy orders them to search for Clyde, leaving Euphronius with the bride's and Frank's corpses. Encouraged by Malloy, Mary from the afterlife, Euphronius decides to revive the couple. Outside, the police arrest Clyde. Malloy sees bright lights shine from the laboratory. Inside, the revived corpses hold hands. And everyone's favorite part, during the credits, Lupino is apprehended by Wiles and female riders inspired by the bride. Cue the monster mash.
What do you get the female riders thing? I like the end part, but like the female that did seem like an underutilized plot point to me.
Yeah. That was one thing that I was like, I feel like there was I feel at some point this was going to be more like Joker in some ways, or like they were going, like they were going to have something to that effect, because you're right, it's absolutely underutilized. It's brought up in the last like 80% somewhere, or last 20% somewhere, and the most we ever see is Euphronius's like Igor having it, which is never really expanded on at all.
Yeah. Like there's, I don't know, she shoots the cop and then everyone's like, we love her. She shot, which I was like, yeah, all right, I get that, because it's like she shot like 6 cops at that point, and it's like that is my favorite part of the movie, so I can see. But they're all like, we love her. What are they? There's like that brain attack or whatever. But everyone's like, brain attack.
Yeah, but also too, I feel like younger generations don't understand like the connection between like the Bonnie and Clyde. Like they're we know those I've seen the Faye Dunaway
as like folk heroes.
Yeah, I mean their assassination was filmed like in one of the earliest films. Like I remember watching like a documentary about them, and you see like them shooting at the car, and then the film footage after their bodies laying in the car. I mean the bullets like. And the autopsy, photo, their corpses where they're just so torn to pieces by the bullets, because they just, I'm like, okay, cops, you got him. You don't have to keep shooting them like 5 billion times. You got him.
Well, there's this weird time period early in kind of the 1920s and 1930s where the FBI especially was trying to, they were creating the legend of the G-Man essentially. So like a federal agent that's a certain kind, like he had a certain kind of stature. And he's like this young buck, this young kind of gangster hunter kind of figure. And there was so much media that went into that. Like one of the reasons that J. Edgar Hoover was able to survive as long as he did in his position, I mean, he literally died in it, was that he created this media empire for himself while running the FBI, where he had all these people that would film him, and like he would bring them along, and there was all these things to it. So all of these, like a lot of these big shootouts were filmed because it was like it was part of his like creating a legend around his agency, essentially, to protect himself from ever being retired
and exposed for being closeted.
Yeah, that too. But it's like he beamed himself to every house and every movie theater in America, essentially.
Yeah.
But no, I think the element of the, like, it almost feels like a leftover of the movie being 30% cheesier than it ended up being, or more campy. Like it feels like something you would see in almost a trauma movie, like something just so completely wild and out of field. And I don't know, I kind of wish that they would have gone farther and made use of that, because like this is a movie that swings for the fences a decent amount of the time, from the acting to just conceptually to the pacing and tone. But I'm always down to see more crazy shit.
But I mean, look at Lisa Frankenstein too. That which is said it like in the Jennifer's Body, Diablo Code and like Universal. A lot of people are like, I didn't what, and it's like, guys, you're gonna get it eventually. I kept thinking Lisa Frank for some reason, like the brand that we all had in middle school.
Yeah.
But like it was another interpretation of like the Frankenstein story, and how like there's that weird like tie to love and revival and whatnot. So it's like, we're seeing an uptick in like the Frankenstein story being retold in many different ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because there's so many ways you can go about it, right? Like there's
Yeah.
obviously the loneliness
Reverse Frankenstein way, kind of like what Lisa Frankenstein did.
There's also like, I mean, like I like this. I like their thing where it's like, oh, we were dead anyway, so who can, like, you gotta live for today because we're brought back from the dead. And then I liked it. The Ida like character, or she's like, isn't everybody? And he's like, no, not everybody is. That's actually very few people are.
Yeah.
But I feel like the part that's been endlessly mined that is like the playing God. It's like you don't want to play God. You'll create like a monster out of it. But it's like Frankenstein became such a sympathetic monster. But then also you can take it in so many directions because he's either very lonely or he's very kind of emo about his life. Yeah. He's like I don't even want to be here, man. Like I don't know what or you could take it
Dennis Hopper.
Or you could subvert it and you have like a happy Frankenstein that's like, I love to be here. That everyone's like, monster.
Well, like it's like oh god, the Creature Commandos. They have a Frankenstein and a bride, but the bride, she's like, she wants nothing to do with him, and he's so like set in on like anytime he sees her near, like a man near her, she's not interested in any man. But he's like, oh my god, I gotta kill this guy because he's going after my woman, and they're like, dude, she's not interested in any of these dudes. She's not interested in you. If she's not gonna be interested in you, she's not gonna be interested in anyone else.
But there's the original like conceit that that Maggie Gyllenhaal had, like was watching Bride of Frankenstein and being like, this movie's called Bride of Frankenstein, but the bride is in it for 30 seconds, and you don't even know, like, you don't know anything that's going on in her head, and it's like she's very beautiful, but then she just hisses, and he's like, fuck this, and blows them up. And it's like, what was going through her head? Like, what kind of person was she? Like, is there some kind of whatever? So like that makes a lot of sense to me.
Maybe if movies were longer back then, we would have gotten another 30 seconds of her in the movie. You never know.
You're like, all right, here's a full minute of the Bride of Frankenstein. But the whole thing, she's like, he does the hissing or whatever, and then he's like, nope. I hate cats. Don't like you.
Yeah. Blows them all up. I mean, it is interesting that Universal is trying to the best to revive the OG like monsters. We're doing another Mummy movie. We had Nicolas Cage as Dracula, like the old school looking types of.
That was the original. That was the first MCU, really, right? Like it's.
Yeah.
Well, and they've been trying to, I don't know. I feel that having these creatures that, they stay in our cultural memory because of the archetypes they represent, and like you were saying, how creatures like Frankenstein are so open to reinterpretation, open to personal interpretation. And I do wish that they would keep at what the method that they're doing now, where they have a new Brendan Fraser mummy in the works, but they also have Lee Cronin's mummy in the works. They have, instead of trying to make like the dark universe thing and trying to tie into all this other stuff, where it's like, how many times?
Versions.
Yeah, exactly. Like just let it be. It reminds me of what I would like DC to do, is that like, I don't need to see all these characters in movies and shit all together. I just want good stories. I want good stories with good beats, and like that's really it.
That's why I like what James Gunn's doing. He's like, Robert Pattinson could be his own Batman. Or like the Clayface. I'm excited for the Clayface movie because that's going to be tying into like that era of Hollywood too, if you think about it, because it's based off of those monster films. So I'm very excited for that because it's going to be a body horror type of film. So
I'm super excited for that.
Yeah. So
no, I think like the idea of Joker having knocked down the floodgates on, like, let's take this IP and make it its own thing, but in a way where it doesn't need to be, here's the cinematic universe of Clayface. Like, I can just take one, maybe two movies, and I would like, how awesome would a focused body horror Mr. Freeze movie be? Or, like that you can take it in so many different places that I wish more people would do.
Yeah, that's why I like, people are forgetting that Marvel's punching out so much stuff. Like Wonder Man is getting a second season, and yet they just dropped out like that, and people forgot. I'm like, okay, it must have done well. So like, and not everything has to be tied together. It'd be separate little things. And you make a point about like, there's different mummy movies coming out. There's different, like, you got your Nosferatus, and so there's different, ways to tell these stories in different, because people always forget that, Nosferatu was based off of Dracula, but copyright and all that.
But I love that. I love it. Like in the 1940s, they had Mummy's Hand, Son of Dracula. Then they had
Dracula meets the Wolfman, and
Dracula meets the Wolfman. Another one, House of Frankenstein, Mummy's Curse, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man, Abbott and Costello meet the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Too. That's another one they adapted, but very much modernized into like this guy's actually like a creepy stalker.
Oh god, I love that Invisible Man. Holy shit.
Yeah. So like you can take like these classic monsters and do something new and modern with them. That's why I'm excited for whenever Guillermo del Toro adapts Lon Chaney's Family Opera to fix the fucking ending, because he's supposed to be redeemed, not get chased by angry mob and get drowned in the river or whatever.
I like
a Del Toro Phantom of the Opera would go insanely hard.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the Invisible Man is basically the opposite story to Frankenstein in a way, because it's like Frankenstein, any room he goes into and he shows his actual face, it's like everyone's like horrified. The Invisible Man, he has the same wrap around him kind of that Christian Bale does in this movie.
Yeah, I was
I
was watching. Unfortunately, with 4K restoration, you can literally see all the little practical effects they make for that Claude Rains Invisible Man movie from like 1930. You can see the strings, you can see the tape, you can see everything. And I'm like, don't do that. But it's amazing with what they were able to work with back then.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many.
The 4K restoration thing does really bum me out, because you
can see,
like one of the things. The makeup throws me way fucking off.
Watching The Wizard of Oz today, I'm like, no, I don't.
It's not even just the texture on the makeup. It's what really pisses me off is, especially in like 90s movies and stuff, where they recolor and retool it so that the makeup, which was supposed to highlight and shadow and contour, looks like it's just orange or reddish kind of blotches in these, and you can see clear, like, that shit bugs the hell out of me.
If
wow, they're talking about doing a Javier Bardem Frankenstein
at
one point. I'm just looking at the ones I'm looking at the ones they abandoned. They're looking at an Amy Pascal, Sam Raimi, Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, that would have
gone hard.
Yeah. Fucking that. Anyone? Any others?
There's a whole bunch. There's a
I would love to see. I hope Sam Raimi does do. I think him doing a monster movie would be fun next, because I hope after Send Help he gets
you don't think the Wonderful and Powerful Wizard of Oz was good enough?
No, God, I always forget he fucking did that movie.
It's the worst movie. But you know what? Like with the Oscars, a lot of people thought, oh well, The Bride came out, this is gonna ruin Jessie Buckley's chances for the Oscar, and I'm like, it wasn't Timothée Chalamet's ballet comments that lost him the Oscar. It was the fact he wasn't, rubbing shoulders with the Academy voters at these important events like Michael B. Jordan was. They've tried to bring back
Creature from the Black Lagoon with these are the different directors that they've tried to bring it back with, and it's all failed. John Landis, John Carpenter, Peter Jackson, Ivan Reitman, Guillermo del Toro at one point. And then in 2004,
did he just do that with Shape of Water?
Yeah, but they would have had James Gunn, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, in 2004.
Oh, that would have been interesting. What's interesting though?
Why? Like, what is there? It's a fish, man. Like, how fucking hard can it be? Like, why so many people going through it all?
Fun fact.
Each time they're like, we cannot get the gills right. The gills are not what.
Fun fact. And y'all know I'm a Backstreet Boys fan through and through. When they did their Backstreet's Back Everybody music video, they wanted to do like superheroes or something, and they're like, let's do like a 90s version of a Thriller. So they came up with the concept of them being different monsters from like the golden, monster era. Nick originally wanted to be the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but they're like, that makeup would be worse than Brian's werewolf pimp makeup. Okay, simple. So he did the Mummy instead. You had Kevin with the Two-Faced Jekyll and Hyde spin. You had Howie as like a Gary Oldman Dracula. AJ as a Phantom of the Opera. Brian as a very pimped up wolf. So yeah, I actually own the VHS tape of them actually making that music video from way back in the day, and it's
That's
still
funny.
the zeitgeist.
I saw that music video for the first time, not but a couple months ago, and it is a trip. It's a trip for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's like so many of these movies that they abandoned.
Because I'm sure it also becomes like a pitch, and they go like, "Hey, do we move forward with this?" Nah, the schedule, and then it just gets left by the wayside or pitched to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yo, in February 2020, they had a musical titled after and centered around the Monster Mash that was supposed to be in development.
Oh my god, I think I heard about that.
And then COVID happened and it got kind of shelved, I think.
Give us the Monster Mash, the musical, because that is exactly what the TED show talks about. TED's like, okay, so we're gonna actually make a song called the Monster Mash about a dance called the, because it was like a whole like bit where it's like the Monster Mash is about a song, about a dance, about a song, about a dance, about a song that doesn't exist, and it's like, what?
Yeah. Well, so they also they were
about it.
Right after Nomadland. They were working on a Chloe Zhao untitled Dracula film.
Oh,
like
Buffy!
There's so many of these.
Give her the. You can't give us the Buffy reboot. Let her do a Dracula movie. Because you have a Dracula movie from a female director. You know, like, hey, anyone?
Yeah, they should get Maggie Gyllenhaal in there.
There you go.
Do a good. Oh, I love it. They should have her do
wait.
They should have her do Dracula meets Frankenstein.
Isn't I feel like the female Dracula is Carmilla, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's her name.
Tone.
Carmilla the vampire. She's like a female.
There you go. It's the female Dracula is Carmilla Soprano.
Yeah, she's doing like soprano makeup ads now for Maybelline or whatever, and I'm like, what?
Really?
He was your he was a powerful vampire is what he was, and in this house, Dracula's a hero. End of story.
In Transylvanian.
All right, you want to do letterbox one-liners?
Oh, this one was a doozy. All right, so for those who are new here, Letterboxd is a place where film lovers, film curious, film haters gather with each other to discuss the films that they loved, the films they didn't love, the films that they kept thinking, oh my god, Joker. Like literally, they kept literally thinking, yeah, they just kept going off about like Joker and
what about Bride of Jokerstein?
Yes. So we always gather these for every episode because we always find them to be very interesting, and they best sum up the films that we discuss. So this is just not for the Siskel's and Eberts of the world. This is a bottom of democracy. Everyone gets to have a say, they chime and opine. So without further ado, here are the Letterboxd one-liners for The Bride. Okay. At one point, Christian Bale as Frank starts having a panic attack because he wants to go to the movies, and I fear I've never related to anything more in my life.
Yeah. Although a couple times I've had a panic attack at the movies, and that's the worst.
Let's all go to them. Okay, so Frankenstein, folie et deux. I mean,
Jokerstein.
I mean, poo things. What things?
That's terrible.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man, seriously. Extra, read all about it. Dead flapper with eloquent Tourette's incites feminist rebellion.
Does she? She doesn't have Tourette's. She never said the N-word once.
Wow. Girl got resurrected immediately sends mid-energy.
She did.
Yeah.
And I like she gets resurrected and then her like leg is all fucked up too. And then she sees that the Ronnie Reed character or whatever has like one leg that's like longer than the other. She's like, is that your kink? One leg's longer than the other. It is.
Right side saddle.
It is his kink. It's definitely his kink.
Frank is just another victim of the monster loneliness epidemic.
True. Mm-hmm. True. Real patriots verified this. True.
Yeah, I don't know why men did not like this movie anymore,
I think it's a very sympathetic portrayal of like Frankenstein as like a lonely man.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of, you know, it's like the world, and like it's as people love to say, I mean, it's like patriarchy that's kind of fucked Frankenstein. It's not you know, it's not his own whatever. Like I think in terms of like being kind of an incel character, like I think it's one of the more sympathetic portrayals of one.
Yeah. And yeah, men didn't like it. The joke, her. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
Jessie Buckley put her whole pussy in this.
I saw that one as I was scrolling.
I was, you know, it's so funny because again, everyone's like Oscar, and I'm like, listen, she started in reality TV she could do musical, like actual like movie musicals because she actually has a musical theater background. So it's like
You got to meet Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, Liza with a Z. Bringing a traumatized woman back to life for the pleasure of an involuntary celibate man, I would prefer not to.
Listen, it was a woman who did it.
Exactly.
A woman who did it.
It wasn't. Can't blame the men for this one. This is on us, ladies. So those are the letterbox one-liners for The Bride. You can find Forrest over at Always Walking over at Movie Night Extravaganza, right? Where he's logging in everything that we do and plus other stuff that he logs from time to time. He's always logging. You can yes. Except that one. You've seen it multiple times. You can find me at Kristina. I'm logging stuff here and there. You know, you can. I did my Peaky Blinders movie one-liner. R.I.P. Tommy Shelby. You would have hated that gift. Anyway, you on Letterboxd by any chance?
Oh yes, I am. I am at Bad Durandal, BADDURANDAL, and I log all sorts of stuff that I watch. I've been on a tear. I've been really actually going through and watching a decent amount in the background lately. So
yeah, there's
always
a lot of
new stuff.
A lot of good horror movies that come out this month too, because we got the Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, and then also the one with Zazie Beetz is coming out this weekend. I'm excited.
Oh yeah,
heard good things.
They just put up like the poster of it for like at my local movie theater, and they're like, it's coming out. You get ready.
Ready or Not. Oh wait, that movie came out the week before.
Damn.
ready or not. Here I am. It's me, Zazie Beetz. All right. I'll just here to be an arrestable offense.
Offense.
We do it. We do it so much.
Listen.
Silas the raccoon.
Listen, if you are looking for a podcast that fucking hates Amelia Perez, you come to the right podcast.
But I still like that we have the yes. I'll always shout out to
always have it
for giving us that. All right, well, I'll hit it with the plugs though. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
Conan ain't here, but
well, obviously Conan's not here, but because he's on tour right now.
Oh yeah.
So On the 27th, he's going to be in Austin. On the 28th, Houston. 29th, New Orleans. 31st, Jacksonville. First,
Playing Phoenix
Tampa.
tonight.
3rd, Little Stevens Underground Garage Cruise. He's going with on a cruise with Stevie Van Zandt. And then on the 9th, Orlando. On the 10th, Atlanta, Georgia. On the 11th, Nashville, and on the 15th, Los Angeles. He's all over the place, and I'm really jealous of the getting to play on Stevie Van Zandt's cruise.
Yeah.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Kristina, what do you got going on?
Well, the good news is we won. Who won? The lesbians, the bisexuals, the femmes. We won because season 5 of Bridgerton is my girl Francesca's season, and I'll be talking about it tomorrow after our show, Forrest, because I'm gonna be streaming.
Yeah, because I don't have anything to say about Bridgerton because I've never watched it.
Yeah. Let's go lesbians. And people are mad, but yeah, we're also gonna be talking about the fact that Trump voted by mail. What? I cannot honestly, that man, I cannot believe that he would do this to us. How dare he? That man is so honest, never lies. He's a true goat. What the hell, dude? You betrayed us. You liar. Anyway. And
gotta throw out his vote.
And, yeah, exactly.
You gotta throw out his vote.
He's got it. It doesn't count. You can't be doing that shit by mail anymore, dude. You banned it. Okay. But I mean, of course, because he probably has to vote in the state of New York via Florida or whatever the hell.
Florida.
But
yeah, Florida now.
Yeah. But we had to do that for my uncle.
Which he would have never been allowed to. He would have never been allowed to do again if he had actually gotten his convictions. Because as a felon, you're not allowed to vote in Florida.
Yeah, Merrick Garland. What the hell? You want to blame leftists for why Trump's in office? Okay. And yeah, we're also rewatching the Animaniacs on my stream. That's been a lot of fun.
Oh, fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because fucking David Zaslav is a genius and it doesn't think keeping the Warner Brothers cartoon IP is smart, unlike Disney, who actually understands the assignment when it comes to their cartoon mascots. All the cartoons from the Warner Brothers, like WB, like peak cartoon Saturday morning cartoon era, or they're on Tubi now. So you can watch them. And we've been watching, we're deep into season 1. We just finished watching the Fingerprints, the fucking one where it's like fingerprints and she's holding prints and she's like, I don't think so. And that joke went over my head when I was a kid. Now I'm like,
oh, she's fingering Prince.
That's
damn. Funny.
Yeah. Those jokes, I mean, again, they went over our heads when we were kids, but even then, I think they also kind of went over our heads, over our parents' heads. Because I don't tell my mom that.
Well, because there was Animaniacs, and then there was like I feel like a level up, like
yeah.
Well, then like even a level above that, it was like Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
and it was like parents were like, I don't know if you're allowed to watch this. Yeah,
the scene where he's like literally like jackhammering him. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
By the way, I was thinking about it because. Watching The Bride, there's one moment where they go, "Oh, real monsters!"
Yeah, classic. Also, I'm thinking of bringing back my Shadow Saturday streams. So
yeah, you should.
Is that where you play Shadow the Hedgehog?
No, it's where we watch the Gothic soap opera from the 60s, Dark Shadows.
Oh, Dark Shadows. Okay, I got you. Okay.
You should do.
Yeah, your thing sounds cool too, though.
You should play Shadow the Hedgehog on stream. Sonic Saturdays.
Hell yeah.
But Dead Domain, what do you have going on? What's going on the channel?
Oh boy, always something new. I just got done a couple weeks ago now, but I put out a video. I watched all the way through the Daily Wire's attempt at a fantasy show.
You watched the Pendragon Cycle?
Oh Christ, did I?
Did you have to pay for the Did you have to pay for or did you get a free trial or whatever?
No, neither. Let's say, but ain't no way I'm paying for that. Yeah, that's out on the channel if you want to know what a nightmare, an attempt by the Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh company can look like of making a fantasy epic.
Those would benefit from incest, actually, believe it or not.
They star Brett Cooper, who looks like the product of incest because she looks like the girl version of Ben Shapiro.
The funniest part of that video for me was being able to show and capture like audio from the show of how Brett Cooper's accent changes multiple times, sometimes even in the same scene. It's hysterical. And anyway,
She's
other than
not
that, I am
she's not an actress. Like that's the crazy. Like, and like it's crazy that they put her both in that and in Snow White. Like,
yeah. It's other than that, I'm always working on new stuff. I've been working on a kind of long form video essay. And then I'm streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, stream politics, news, sometimes games over on twitch.tv/Dead Domain.
Nice. I should say this is the last episode we're doing for a little bit. We're taking a hiatus because I'm going on a trip. And
oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So we're like and Conan's on tour. So it would just be Kristina reviewing movies, which if she wants to, she can, but
no, you just
yeah,
come to my Twitch stream for that.
But we've had such a like crazy few months or a couple months of this because the Oscars and everything. So we've put out a lot of fucking content.
And Adam McKay
on the
and
channel.
Josh Olsen were on like back to back.
Yeah, and they're coming back on in May.
Yeah, they invited themselves back. Well, Adam's invited himself back on like 180 more times. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, he said he was like, if you guys want me, I'll come back 180 times. And we were like, all right, like,
okay. That's awesome.
When you came on last year, like we talked about the other guys, and then we had Adam McKay on, or we were gonna. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah. But all right, Dead Domain. Let's hear that final thoughts about this movie.
I quite like The Bride. I would rather have movies that are flawed but self-assured like this, that are different, engaging, but like I said, that are a little messy. I would rather have a bunch of these than most of the like Marvel or franchise stuff that we get nowadays.
Word. Kristina, final thoughts.
This is going to be a future cult classic. People are going to look back and be like, you know what? Those risks we're willing to take.
I love a big swing. I think big swings are like, I'll always cover a big swing if someone takes one.
It's like they say, no, that's fun anymore.
Not at my legs, but please don't take a big swing at my legs. But anything else. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on. And I guess we'll see the audience on the. I mean, besides, I guess tomorrow for Absurdity Space. But besides that, it's gonna be like almost a month, I guess. We're taking a break. So good to see you guys. Good to see everybody.